Hello guys, so today we're going to be testing out the new L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Water Foundation. I have actually been wearing this for a couple of weeks now to test it out, and you know, like always, I have a couple of opinions about it. So this foundation comes in, it looks like 30 different colors, so it has a pretty good range of colors. I can't speak for the very light and the very dark, but I can speak for the medium range, and the medium range seems to be okay. I ended up getting mine in the color 455, which is the color Natural Buff, which just like any other foundation that you buy online, which I did buy this online at Ulta for $14.99, it is pretty difficult to figure out your colors, so I just went back to some of my other colors in the Infallible line to see which one matched the best, and this one was the one that I could come up with. So this basically says that it is a lightweight foundation, 24-hour breathable skin technology, medium to full buildable coverage, and it's supposed to allow your skin to breathe. A smoothing foundation, it gives your face a healthy, fresh looking complexion. It also has an SPF of 25, which is really nice, and it says to apply, just apply with either a brush or a sponge, so you can have an option of which one you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and put my regular Smashbox primer on this side. It's a silicone based primer, and I can tell you that this primer is not the best primer for this foundation, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to go ahead and use the BECCA Ever Matte Poreless primer on this side. This is a really good primer for it. I've also used the Rimmel Stay Matte primer with this foundation, and that primer actually works really well as well, to keep the foundation in place all day. So if you wanted like a cheaper version, you can go and get the Rimmel Stay Matte, but that's something that doesn't irritate your skin. So I'm just going to do one pump here so you can see. It's just slightly watery. Let me go ahead and get you closer. So we're going to go ahead and do the brush on this side. I take a LUXIE 732 airbrush foundation brush and put it on this side here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start sweeping this on. This foundation does have a fragrance. It's kind of a floral fragrance. So if you're not excited about fragrant foundations, you may not like this. I thought it was kind of weird because I don't think the rest of the foundations from the Infallible line have a fragrance. So I was kind of worried that they put one in this one. I don't find that it irritates my skin. That's a plus for me, but you know, the fragrance is there and you will notice it when you're putting it on. Alright, so here is the side with the foundation, and here's the side without the foundation. So you can see it does really well of blurring my pores. It doesn't cover completely. It does say it's buildable. I won't be really building it today because I don't need like full coverage, I don't think, even though I have some scarring and stuff. It doesn't really bother me. But you can see it does take away the redness. Did really well of taking out the redness here on my cheeks, where sometimes I have a problem with foundation actually taking away that redness. You can see I still have like blotching and stuff on this side, and this side is just kind of smoothed out. So I'm going to go ahead and use one more pump. I'm going to go ahead and take my beauty blender, or my Real Techniques, and we're going to go on the other side. And here's the full face using the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Water Foundation. Brush side here, sponge side here. I like the sponge side a little bit better. I feel like even though it's a little bit sheer on my face, the sponge side just kind of smooths out a little bit. The brush doesn't do bad. You don't get any like strokes or anything like that, but I feel like for some reason the brush will lift my skin a little bit and give me some more texture. Like I have some dry portions, which I don't really want right now, so it does definitely lift that. But where the sponge just kind of presses the foundation right into the skin and makes it look really flawless. So let me go ahead and show you. Sponge side here, brush side here, and if you can see right up here, I do have some flaking already from the I have dry skin there, so it does tend to cling a little bit to dry skin, so that's something to be aware of as well. It's not doing bad in like my nose area or anything like that. It fills in the pores really well. I will be setting the foundation today with a setting powder. I'll just use the Peach Perfect foundation setting powder. I'll go ahead and do that while we're on camera, that way you can see how I do that. I'm just going to take my damp sponge and I'm just going to push that right into there. All right, so that is set. So that's where we want it to be. So far, so good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on real quick so we can see how everything goes on top. I can tell you everything goes on really nicely with it. But let me give you the time real quick. I'm getting a really late start today. So it is There we go. It's about 11:45 in the afternoon today. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on. I'll have this on for about 10 hours so I can show you what it looks like at the end of the day. And I'll be back to show you what it looks like with makeup on. All right, bye-bye. All right, so here's the finished look. I think makeup goes super nice on top of it. I feel like it does cover up my imperfections. I do feel like this foundation makes my face look super flawless, even though I didn't do a full buildable, full coverage foundation. I just used one pump on each side, so 2 pumps was about what I used on here. I think it does a good job. It does make my face look kind of poreless in a way. You will see throughout the demo how one side differs from the other of the 2 different kind of primers that I'm using. I'll also be showing you a picture of me using it without primer as well, so you can see how at the end of the day how it looked without primer. I took a quick a video of that way you can see if you're somebody that doesn't like to use primer and you have kind of oily skin, you'll see how it will last without the primer as well. So far so good. I love the way the foundation looks. It's covering really nicely. I don't have any complaints, so I'm gonna go ahead and go about my day, and then I'll be back in a couple of hours to check in, and then at the end of the day. All right, I shall talk to you later. All right, guys, so this is our 5-hour check-in. It is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have glasses on, so let me take them off really quick, and let's let the camera get into focus. There it is. All right, let me go ahead and look at what we're looking at here. So this is the side with the silicone primer from Smashbox. And this is the side here with the BECCA primer. So as you can see, I am getting slightly oily on this side and on my nose as well. Not bad. Everything's still sticking where it needs to be. The foundation is staying in place. All the makeup that I have on is still in place from both sides there. I just get more oily on this side with the silicone primer. So I'm not too sure if this foundation is meant to be used with silicone primer or not. It says it has silica in it, so it should be okay. But for me, it just kind of produces more oils when I use the silicone primer. And the one from BECCA may have silicone in it, but it has other properties in it to help it for some reason stay a little bit better. Also, this primer from Rimmel works really well with it as well. It's almost like the BECCA one, which is the one that I mentioned earlier this morning. I want to just mention that it says that it has a natural finish. It's a 24-hour foundation, medium coverage, and it also says that it's airlight. That's what the little tag says on here too. I didn't mention that earlier. So, so far so good. I'm not having any problems. I've been wearing my glasses all day. You can see that my glasses is not rubbing, the foundation is not rubbing off on my glasses as of yet. There is some foundation here on my glasses. I don't know if you can see that there. That's kind of yucky. But right here on the nose rim there is some foundation. But I'm not having like serious problems yet. But even though it's rubbing off a little bit on my glasses, I'm not having any kind of like breakup at all as far as the foundation goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a clean paper towel here. I'm gonna fold it, and I'm just gonna pat this side of my face so we can see how the foundation's doing as far as it being transfer proof. So as you can see, this side here, there is a little bit of transfer there, and there also is transfer on my phone. I'm gonna take the other side here, another clean side, and go on the other side, and let's see if maybe the transfer on that side's different with the different primer that I have on. And I'm basically just pressing the paper right into my face and seeing what happens there. And it's pretty much the same on this side. So it's definitely not transfer proof. You do get some makeup rub off there, but so far so good as far as the way the foundation's looking. Now that I did that though, I think some of the foundation came off more on this side than it did on this side, which is kind of weird. I'd never noticed that before, but it still looks good. And I'm not getting any creasing in my really deep lines on my forehead. Definitely doing really well on the fine lines on the side of my eyes. It's not building up here. It's still staying in place, and I feel like it's doing really well at 5 hours. So I'll be back another 5 hours at 10 o'clock tonight to show you what it looks like then, and then I'll conclude this video for you. We'll be back. All right, guys, so it is now 9 o'clock in the evening. And I'm doing my last check-in, which means I've had this foundation on for 9 hours, which is plenty of time. That's a full workday for me, including my lunch. This foundation does say that it will last for 24 hours, and I think it does a good job of staying on for as long as it has so far. I'm just going to take this little paper towel, blot one more time because I am getting a little oily. And again, I'm still getting some foundation off on the paper, so you know that it's not completely transfer proof. And even if I do this and put it up against my phone, you do get some residue there on my phone as well. So it's not going to be 100% transfer proof when it comes to my oily skin. On other people, it may be completely transfer proof. It's just my skin and how the oils kind of build up throughout the day. But other than that, foundation looks really, really nice at 9 hours. And I have worn this foundation for a longer period of time, and it also looks really, really nice. So for me, I would say that this is a really nice foundation, and I would recommend it if you're looking for a nice foundation. They don't say that this is a matte foundation, but for me it runs on the matter side of foundations than on the more dewier side of foundation. So this is more of a matte foundation for me. It may sit differently on other people's face, but for me it just seems more of a matte foundation, and it could be just because I said it. There's no area on my nose where the foundation has rubbed off, which is really, really nice. It's actually stood really, really nice in this area here, whereas most of the time I do get foundation that kind of leaves this area here. That's where I get the most oils throughout the day. So that's where I'll find that foundation kind of starts to disappear and it starts to blotch up a little bit, and this foundation doesn't do that. So it is kind of a pricier foundation for the drugstore. It's $14.99. I did see online where you can get it for like $11.99 at other places. But where I picked it up at Ulta, it was $14.99. I bet you if I go over to my Walmart and they have it, it'll probably be for like $10. So you may be able to find it for cheaper somewhere else. But it's something that you might want to give a try if you're looking for a medium to full coverage foundation that lasts a really long time and does really good with different kind of primers and does really well without primer as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop up a picture of my all-day wear test with the primer without any primer so you can see how it looked with that. And this is my review. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you've tried this foundation out, what you think about it, if you're now going to give it a try because of the test that I just showed you. And I shall talk to you guys sometime within the week. We'll talk to you later.